You've reached the Union of Metro Street podcast, where we discuss the San Diego music scene of the late 80s and all of the 90s, from the shows we worked to the shows we played. Here we go.
That was Inciting Riots, and we got Ugly Lenny here from Inciting Riots. Dude, that's badass. I like that. I've not heard this album, and dude, that was badass. I like the breakdown.
That's cool.
So how you doing, brother? It's been a long time.
Yeah, years and years and years.
Yeah. So how you been?
Been great. Just playing music and living life.
Yeah. So we'll go through the whole history, but right now, what bands are you doing?
Currently, just Inciting Riots and 13 Wolves are active right now, and then I think Social Spit might still be a band.
Oh, really?
And Confederates whenever Darren's in town.
Yeah. Actually, I tried to meet up with Darren. Oh God. A couple of months ago, he was in town for a short spell.
Yeah. We recorded then.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
So I didn't know that you were in Confederates.
Yeah, Dave, the original bass player, I guess he was going on tour with Tilt Wheel, and they were like, "Oh man, he's gonna be gone a while." I'm like,
yeah.
"Well, I'll fill in while he's gone."
Yeah.
And so I just filled in, and then when he got back, he, instead of just taking back his place, he just became the third guitarist, and then eventually just, was doing his own thing for a while.
Well, that's cool. Yeah. I remember, God, hearing that band. Who else? I'm trying to remember. Who else is in the band?
Todd Dammit, and then when I played, it was Grant and Cameron from the Union. And Grant.
Right. Okay, yeah. Okay. So, for those that don't know, our history goes back to what, 90?
Yeah, probably.
At Union?
Yeah. So I think when I first met you, I was in Public Nuisance.
Oh, that's right.
1990.
Yeah. And then so that would be dungeon shows.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Back playing with like RMSD and...
Yeah.
So when did Construction Through Destruction start?
In '91, like I was writing a lot of songs and pretty much had enough to do like some thing on the side, and then I ended up just wanting to do my own band more.
Yeah, because I remember that they God, it's still, there's so many bands back then, but then whenever a new band would come up, it seemed like everyone kind of, it was one of those things where someone from one band would start with another one and then form something, and then it would just start getting bigger and bigger, and then bands would just kind of fall off.
Yeah, I think probably every band's related in some way now.
Yeah, it's how incestuous it was back then. But so, and you still, we were just listening to the to your 7-inch here, and do you still play with anyone from back then?
No, not really. The band from the 7-inch, the drummer Brent, he ended up going and playing with Dodgeball and then Eveready. And then bass player Jack ended up starting his own band, the Teenage Beer Whores, and then he became the singer of the Cadaver Dogs, which pretty much was the Neighbors with him singing, like all the guys from the Neighbors.
Oh, yeah, and he's still an OB. I see him riding around every now and again on his bike.
Yeah.
And I want to, like, honk at him, but I don't want him to, like,
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, he just started doing some recordings maybe like a year ago. I don't know if he's finished them yet.
Yeah, because we one time, we were just talking about it earlier where I came to, was it Brent's house then?
Yeah. He used to practice because he moved out and then his parents just left his bedroom for us to practice in. So it was cool. They tolerated that. Yeah.
That's awesome.
And I remember his dog. Every time I'd show up, like the dog would like fucking hate me, and I was like, damn, I'm like, what's the problem with your dog? It's like, I don't know. It's just when he sees you, he just hates you, And I think we figured it out. Like I represented noise. Like every time I showed up, it got really fucking loud.
Oh, yeah.
So I even went to Claim Jumper one time, and this when they used to have the big ass like rack of beef ribs.
Yeah.
And I saved all the bones. I'm like, I'm going to make this dog my best friend.
Right.
So I brought the bones the next practice, and then the dog was like wagging his tail and all nice to me and shit. And then next practice, hated me again. He's like, I can't bring bones every time.
Short memory.
Yeah. Well, that's like me with the landscaping. Is I have the dog treats in the truck. So there's a couple accounts that I go to because there's one that has 4 dogs, and as soon as I show up there, like I'll show up in the front, get the line trimmer going, I'm doing my thing, and I can hear them in the house barking like crazy, and it's a bunch of smaller dogs. So for a while there, I would have all these treats. So I'd get into the back, and then I'd have to feed. I'd feed them like 2 at a time, and they would all 4 of them line up. So I'm getting them like 2, and I'm doing the Bugs Bunny, and for you, and then the smallest one would go around it would start in the beginning and go around like the and me boss. So I just keep feeding them until they finally shut up, and then I can go and mow the freaking backyard. But then there's another one that I just do it just because as soon as I get there, I just have a handful of treats, and she eats the treats, and we hang out for a minute, and then I go and do the thing so she doesn't bark. So I've learned the art of what is it, bribing the dog. But yeah, so that was back in God. So I started in 90, and then how did you find me at Soma? I don't remember. Was it because of short lived or?
I think it was because you knew Kelly, and I knew Kelly, and we became mutual friends that way because I think she was really good friends with your girlfriend at the time.
Yeah. And then she was with Sid, my buddy Sid, and when I started booking Soma, I was still out in Santee, and then he came out one day, I guess. Because, there was a whole Wiener Schnitzel and all that, and then I started doing Soma and hanging out with Short Lived. And then either 90 or 91, Sid just came out and said, I think you should move to OB. You're going to move in with Kelly and I. So I slept on their floor in OB, and they had a 1-bedroom apartment. And the bathroom was, you had to go through the bedroom to go. So it was kind of awkward, but, it's freaking punk rock. I didn't care. I mean, I wasn't, at that point, God, I don't even remember. I was probably half homeless or living at my dad's again or something. And then just kind of this new place, somewhere to actually play. And that was kind of a trip, actually, when I think about it. Because everything, as Jerry and I were talking about earlier, everything just sort of organically happened. Because there wasn't really a scene anymore. Mm-hmm. You had Palisades to close down. Or were the Palisades doing anything? I don't think really.
I think so, because I remember like seeing Circle Jerks and stuff there, like later.
Oh, okay.
But I think Soma, because it was all ages and they were having a lot more shows, plus all the local band showcases down in the dungeon was a lot more attractive, especially to local bands.
Plus, I pretty much booked anyone that would play for me, really, at that point. And that again, it's funny that I was able to do that with Len running the club. He trusted me enough to bring in, because we had some freaking gnarly shows down there. Yeah. Speaking of, so what do you think is your fondest memory? Which show was the craziest from the early days?
Probably any show we played with the River Bottom Nightmare Band. Those would get pretty rowdy. I'm lucky. I have this show on videotape. Even we played a show, and I was playing a song, and during the slam hit, someone got thrown into the microphone, and it hit my guitar just on like a sweet spot where I didn't notice for a little bit. Then I start playing, and I hear this like my neck was busted. I didn't even notice,
Oh, no way.
So I got mad, and I pulled it off, and I threw it on the ground and kicked it, and Kelly was actually singing a song with us at the time, and she just kept singing, and everyone's looking at her like, what happened? Like, no one saw it, But then I was glad I found out it was videotaped, and when I saw it, I was like, oh, yep, that's what happened. Because I didn't even know what happened at first. I was just like, why is my guitar all fucked up?
Right. That's crazy. I don't even remember that.
Yeah. And then I remember one time went out to the desert. They were having a desert show out there, like with Dahmer's Diner, and like a lot of local bands went out there, Chicken Farm and stuff. And so local bands were playing. There was bands from Arizona playing, and like Face to Face played, and Rhythm Collision and stuff like that. And then the next night, Face to Face were playing at Soma in the dungeon, and CTD were opening. And I don't know if it was from the weather change or whatever, but Trevor from Face to Face busted, all the strings broke or whatever. So he used my guitar to play the rest of the set. And I remember when I got it back, I was like, damn, this thing's never been this tuned. Like he tuned, I'm like, what did he do? It's staying in tune. It's,
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I don't even remember that either. This is the whole reason why this is so great, because I don't remember, certain bits and pieces, will pop in and be like, oh, yeah, I remember this and that. But, especially the dungeon shows. I was trying to figure out a while ago, we were doing a layout of Union. And, there's, you got the stage and then the one meat locker on the left side and then the green room. But back behind the soundboard, there was the stairway that went up by the bathroom.
Yeah.
I'd completely forgotten about that for years. So remembering those shows down there, you bring up River Bottom Nightmare Band. I have pictures of, I think 3 or 4 pictures. And then who was this? Well, Darren. And then who was the singer?
Justin.
Okay. Yeah. And Darren with his top hat. Mm-hmm. And then, God, see those shows with you guys, Chicken Farm. For me, those were the fun ones. Yeah. You guys, Chicken Farm, Neighbors eventually.
Yeah.
Right. And then, but with River Bottom, and then RMSD. And did Pour ever? Did you guys play with us?
Yeah,
Pour?
I actually have the flyer. I'll have to scan it and send it to you. It was like a band called Fuss Budget.
Yeah.
And there was a couple other bands, but yeah, I have the flyer for that.
Oh, wait a minute. You know what?
Matter of fact, I didn't have your logo, so I made a logo for you. And
Was it Dahmer's Diner?
may have been. I don't remember.
Yeah. I'm thinking, I do remember a flyer that I had made, because, back then I was just kind of handwriting. I didn't really have a logo. I kind of had one. We had some stickers made, but I think it was us, Dahmer's Diner, Fuss Budget, and River Bottom, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
But I can't remember. What
It was only, 32 years ago?
Yeah.
I know, exactly. I'm like, God, this is really pulling the freaking memory strings.
Yeah.
But
I do have the flyer for that show. It's a blue one, even. I even remember that.
That's
Gotta
rad.
post that on the page.
Yeah, I'll scan it later and send it.
Yeah.
And same with that video with your guitar neck.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I have to
Be up there
transfer
too.
that. Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, because Jerry, you kind of remember. Did you go to, we were talking about earlier, did you go to any of the dungeon shows? Or
I never went to a dungeon show.
It was so bizarre because it was the Meat Locker, the place or whatever. And it was so fucking dark. We only utilized the middle section of the room, but the offside, the green room, that's where STP, we did that video, and they had everyone moshing in that just so they can get the B shots and the overhead of everything. It was the most silly fucking thing.
Oh.
But the idea of doing those shows down there, I thought that was like the climax of my doing any shows. Like, I'm freaking booking bands and, making friends with all these musicians, and, that was it. I think I'm trying to remember if Keith Morris's Bug Lamp, if I had him play. I think I had Keith Morris and Bug Lamp play there because I was trying to get him to put Circle Jerks back together. And I kept telling him, if you get the Circle Jerks back together, you have to play for us at Soma. But that place was gnarly. It was the dungeon. But there was some crazy, crazy shows there. And amazing talent that came out of that place.
Yeah, there's a lot of bands that, like, I remember, but they didn't last that long. And, like, I remember there's one band, Fishing Rod.
Oh, yeah.
Their
George?
band... What's that?
Was it George?
I actually didn't personally know them, but I'll never forget that they're like, yeah, we got stickers. Like, oh, cool. And then you go up, they're like, yeah, let me get a sticker. And they had a roll of duct tape, and they'd write fishing rod in a Sharpie and just hand you a piece of duct tape with fishing rod written on it. I'm like, that's the coolest thing.
Yeah.
Like,
That'll be $1.
Yeah. I think it was George, and they were friends with Chicken Farm, because Chicken Farm was another one back then. Guys.
You bring those guys up quite a bit.
I know. Yeah, that's definitely one that I harp on. But Ubaldo and Alberto the band was just freaking amazing. And so back then, when I was doing these shows, there were certain bands that I knew that would bring in the people and would be like a proper punk rock show. And then anything that Lenny was involved with, I knew was going to be like the shit. Because, again, for me, I know I've harped on this before, but whatever made it easier to book. Like when I was booking Blink and people were giving me crap about it, like Lamb was giving me crap, even Bill Silva at one point made a comment about it. It's like, well, I can get a hold of them. They don't give me any shit, and they show up and they're easy to work with. That's like the basics.
Did BSP do shows at Union?
No. He didn't. When we ended up going to Metro,
That's so basically nobody back at the Union days. There was no other promoters that were doing shows on at Union, right?
Makeda Dread would do. She's the one that would do the reggae shows.
No Fine Line shows there.
I'm trying to remember. Do you remember anything with Fine Line up on the main stage?
Is that what Mike Monroe was doing?
That's Harlan.
Oh,
Yeah, Harlan Schiffman was doing.
Because he did a lot. Most of the shows at Iguanas actually back at right when Union closed down. All the shows went basically to Tijuana.
Yeah,
The shows that we would normally do.
yeah, I loved Iguanas.
Yeah, Iguanas was
Yeah.
insane.
Especially like once I figured out that you could just drive right to it, like we're just going in, making a right.
You're
you
right there.
Yeah. I was like, God, why are we parking over here and
Walking.
worried that our cars can be broken into when we can just park right up to that place?
I was worried about getting chased over the bridge. But speaking of Mike Monroe, when didn't he do a band?
Yeah, and then he had Red Eye Records.
Yep.
Oh,
Free
yeah.
Show was the band. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
I still have their demo tape. Yeah.
Oh, no way. Because you played with them, didn't you? There. This is seriously going to be jogging.
Played with them like at Spirit.
How many bands did Mike Monroe have on his label? I know wasn't Incubus was on his label, right?
I'm not sure. I know Infamous Symphony, the first Unwritten Law.
One by One.
Yeah.
I think they were on his label. Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. Okay. See, this is starting to jog the memories. So, yeah, because Unwritten Law. Well, let's go back to early days. Puzzle Box, and wasn't JD from Industrial Strength in Puzzle Box?
I'm not sure. I know Cameron, the drummer, Confederates in the Union. He was in Puzzle Box.
Yeah, because they were more of a tradition Poway band.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm trying to think of what other ones.
Was Mike from Poway?
I think he was, and I think that's how that ended up coming to fruition. But did you guys ever play in any of your bands play the main stage?
No. Matter of fact, Len could see like that we were really trying to bring people in.
Yeah.
And it used to be like you get like 100 people say your name at the door and you get on the top stage, and we'd maybe draw like on a very, very good day like 22 or something.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I see you guys put your flyers everywhere. You guys really promote your shows. I've seen you at other shows giving people flyers for your next show here. And he's also, if you could get 50 people at your next show, I'll give you guys a break upstairs. So I'm like, oh, cool. So,
yeah.
We talked to all our friends, and we're like, okay, we got like 200 people saying they're going to come. You figure half of them are full of shit.
Yep.
So that leaves 100. It's like, even if like 50 of them get sick or whatever, we still got the 50. Like, if 1/4 of the people that say they're going to come, we got it,
Yeah.
So I think that show we drew like, 19 or something, and I was mad, and, I ended up like writing a song about it, like, fuck, man, I never asked you pricks for nothing, and the one time I actually do ask you, I even told my friends, like, I think it was $5 to get in. I'm like, I'll give you your $5 back,
Yeah.
Like, just like, just we need to get a break,
Yeah.
and Len's giving us a break.
Yeah.
Just fucking show up,
Yeah.
You don't have to go to any other show, just come to this one,
Well, that's the thing too, Jerry. Is he like seriously was like they worked at flyers everywhere, and back then, I mean, we had our flyers and we put them up in all the record stores and all that. But the whole way to grow the scene organically was to have, you have to support yourself and you have to work, and Lenny worked. I mean, worked. But the other thing too is when half of the people that are going to show up at your show are also in a band and playing the show, and then you add in the guest list and your crew. Next thing you know, it was kind of, I mean, the energy at those shows was like a house party.
Yeah.
And everyone was there, and they were just freaking, they were the best shows. But you don't get the paying people because everyone's either in a band or,
friends with the band.
Yeah, with crew with the band, because we did, 2 crew and then 1 guest per member.
Yeah.
So,
and that concept was the same at Metro.
yeah. And it's,
Plus,
what it
then,
is?
we were a 3-piece, so a lot of places, I mean, not just Soma, but a lot of places we like, we'd make up a guitarist So then,
So you get an extra person.
yeah. So
Oh, yeah.
here's our guitar. Well, an extra 2 people because you
Yeah.
got the guitarist and his guest.
Yep.
You know.
That's funny, but it's
And then there'd be times like, you know, if we're trying to push the show, like, man, if that motherfucker doesn't show up, we're just gonna play without him. Fuck that guy. You know.
That was pretty smart, actually. That worked.
oh yeah. But it's another one of those. It's the band's band. You know, all the bands dug you guys, and then everyone that's been in a band, it's just it's just you guys were a staple. You just didn't get to that criteria. But other than Soma, where else were you guys playing? Did you
Pretty much
tour
wherever
at
we
all?
could. No. I don't even think we played out of San Diego, if I remember correctly.
We didn't do anything up in Oceanside with you, or because it was kind of like poor. I mean, I didn't really.
I know CTD played a lot of shows, and in the beginning, we weren't really that good, and like our first demo tape wasn't really that good. I mean, at the time, I'm like, this is amazing. Everyone's going to love us. You know, we're going to be a fucking superstars. And then you listen to it later, like, oh, okay, that's what they were hearing, you know? But I thought the 7-inch was pretty good. And once that came out, we were starting to, like, I'd hear people that I didn't know like us, or see a sticker on a car that someone I didn't know. But then it just, like, ended soon after that, and became the Beer Goggles after that.
Oh, that's right.
You know? So pretty much it was the same band. It's just like, you know, I was listening to more melodic shit like Screeching Weasel and stuff. So I was like having a lot of melody lines in the songs, you know, after that.
So what actually? Because I don't. Out of the 30 plus years I've known you, what got you into playing music, and what did you start off with?
I started off wanting to be Ace Frehley when I was like a kid, you know. And then I remember for my birthday coming up, you know, my dad said, "What do you want?" I'm like, "I want a guitar, you know, and I want a guitar just like Ace Frehley, you know." And I drew a picture of it because I didn't even know what a Gibson Les Paul was, so I just drew a picture of it and drew the sunburst on it. You know?
Yeah.
So he ended up getting me an acoustic guitar that like had the sunburst on it, you know. So it was kind of cool. And
you remember what guitar, what type of guitar it was, or
I have
the
no
name?
idea. I didn't even know about that kind of shit. That's like saying I was saying with like the face-to-face guy when he tuned my guitar good. I was like, whoa, like, you know. And when I tell people that, I was like, well, what kind of guitar was it? I'm like, I think it said West or something somewhere on it. Like, I don't know, you know. Like, it was a black one. You know? What kind of pickups? Square ones. You know, like I didn't know. You know. I hear people go like, "Oh, EMG, this, blah 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 blah." I'm like, dude, you know, I have no idea. I don't care. I'm like, if it sounds good, it sounds good. You know.
I'm still kind of that way to this day.
Yeah, like you know, it's like it sounds good, and if it doesn't, like, what can I do to make it sound good? Someone else could tell me because I fucking don't know.
Got to give back to Trevor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, you know, if I ever can get a hold of him, he's been ignoring me. I guess I shouldn't send roses when I send him an email, but or maybe I should send roses. But
they've been on tour actually.
Trevor?
Yeah, Face to Face have been playing shows lately.
Oh, they have?
Yeah.
Well, actually, I did talk to Rob via Messenger, but I don't know. I think when I send messages out to people, usually they're like, is that guy still around? God, I thought he was killed by a skateboarder.
I think someone hacked your account.
I know. Oh, yeah, and that did happen to me quite a bit. Or I think I probably brought it on myself because I don't understand social media or shit. But no, I was the same way with instruments and stuff. But so you get the mock Ace Frehley guitar from your dad, and then
Yeah, and then I think I started getting influenced by like punk rock stuff because I wasn't that good, and I'm like, whoa, I accidentally just figured out No Values, you know, or you know, or like, whoa, like fucking listen to Circle Jerks or 7 Seconds or something. You're like, I can play these songs, you know.
Did you do the Smoke on the Water?
Oh yeah, and you know, Iron Man and Paranoid. You're like, whoa, I could like go down, up and down strings, you know.
Yeah. And so what age was that?
I was probably like 12, maybe. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's about the same for me. I took a guitar class in 11th grade and I got a D. But the main thing that I got from it is the scar above my nose. I was pulling up the sheet stand, and I finally got it loose enough and went hit me up above my nose.
Oh, jeez.
And it was bleeding, and someone in class had told me. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, so then I went home, and my mom goes, put a Band-Aid on it and go back to school. I'm like, oh, fuck. So I had to go back to school. But, there's guys in there noodling around like Eddie Van Halen and Yngwie Malmsteen, and I'm going, oh, and that's why I ended up playing the bass, because I couldn't play the freaking guitar. And I can't do power chords or anything, but I play the bass kind of like a guitar if I pseudo knew, and then again, for me, it's if I add enough distortion, then I can cover up.
Yeah.
And then I know how to tune it. I figured that out a while ago. So
Yeah, I actually think I got better at guitar at CTD practices. Sometimes we just loosen up with a song, but sometimes we just like fucking fuck around and just do some blues jam or just whatever. And I when I first started trying to play solos, like Mark would play some bass line or whatever, and then Brent would start playing drums. I'd try to play solos, and they'd sound like Greg Ginn, like kind of where they're not really in tune and not
right.
And then after a while, I was like, oh, whoa, like I could hear where my fingers are supposed to be,
Oh, yeah.
So I think just the little jams, kind of made me better, where I was able to start writing better shit, I guess.
And then you get confidence.
Yeah.
Because, they're sitting there. And plus, when you're in there and you're in the moment, you start figuring out, because that's how, and then I because I was so bad at even bass, that's why I went to vocals. And then, so that's how I sort of built my confidence. And then eventually I was able to do bass and vocals at the same time, but it's still, I'm not going to brag about having any talent at all. I can tune the guitar, or my bass for that matter. So then, speaking of, after that, what age did you guys start? Oh, wait a minute. Before CTD, it was...
Yeah, actually my first...
Public Nuisance?
My first band, I ended up switching to bass when I was like 14 or 15, because you couldn't join a band as a guitar player because everyone played guitar.
Right, yeah,
so
yeah.
Who do they need? Who do people need? Oh, well, everyone needs a drummer. I'm like, I can't play fucking drums, So I'm like, well, what else? He was like, keyboards. What are they? I'm like, no, bass players. Like, you need a guitar player. You just knock on your neighbor's door. Hey, bro, we need you to play guitar for us.
Yeah.
So I couldn't play drums. So I'm like, I could pick up bass. So I just started playing bass, and then I joined this band, United Youth, and the drummer of that band was in Public Nuisance, and their bass player left, and I saw him at a Iguana show, and he was like, yeah, we need a bass player. Why don't you come down? So then I started playing with them. And then after that, I just started CTD, which became Beer Goggles. And then when Beer Goggles was over, it was right when I joined Confederates. Then I went to jail for like 6 months. And then when I got out, I wanted to do my own band again.
Yeah.
But it just wasn't happening. So I still played with Confederates. And then they moved to Oregon. So then I wasn't doing anything for a while, but I was writing a lot. And then I joined Tiltwheel for like a year or two. That was fun. And
yeah.
then
What year was that?
That was about like 99, I think.
Oh, wow. Okay.
90, I think 99, 2000, somewhere in there. And then that's around the same time I started getting Inciting Riots together. So Inciting Riots like officially started October of 2000.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And it was the bass player, Tim, who was in Beer Goggles. And then the drummer was guy Dan Scum I'd met through the Confederates guys.
Yeah, actually, Dan's the one that... So shout out to Dan, but he's the one that said that Darren was in town.
Yeah.
And then, so, damn, 22 years.
Yeah.
Do you tour? Have you been touring with it at all, or...?
No, we talked about it here and there, but nothing ever happened. So it's pretty much for fun now.
Yeah. But we were talking about it earlier about, especially if bands are trying to tour right now with the gas prices and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's bad enough when you go on tour And if you're a small band, especially on an independent label, you know, if you're going to go out and tour, so then you have to have your merch, but then you add on, you know, lodging and everything else. If you sleep in the van or you get an RV, you know, the gas alone is going to eat up any profits you make from anything that you have invested in it. Any of your merch or any, you know, CDs or vinyl. And, you know, we got the your CTD vinyl here. How much did that cost? Because we were talking about that earlier. How much did that cost for to press, and how many did you press?
Well, when we did that,
this was in,
that was
what,
like 93.
Yeah.
I think it was like $800 for 500, and then we ended up getting half off because they fucked up.
Yeah.
Like they cut off a couple seconds of a song. So it cost like 400, and then the turnaround was, you know, I think we had them in like a month and a half.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so it was cool. Like, and then we just did all the covers at Kinko's, and whatever the color of the month was, they used to have a color of the month.
Yeah.
You know, that's what color our 7-inch covers were at that time. We'd go and like, you know, print like 20 at a time or something.
Yeah.
So that's why there's like red ones, blue ones, yellow ones, white ones, black ones. You know, like whatever the color of the month was, that's what color
awesome.
they were. You know?
So those are all the collector's item ones for the hardcore collectors.
The limited editions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think out of those 500, I still have like 250 left.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You don't put them up and try to...
I try to get rid of them. I try to give them away even. You know.
Because that's the one thing that I've never done out of all the bands that I've ever done. I mean, Poor, that band was pretty loosely put together, but, you know, minus me, they were doing Damnation. So they had been on comps, and they put out a couple things, but I never, you know, I didn't even fathom. We didn't even put out a demo tape. It was just like, we're not going to be able to do anything with this freaking band.
See, a record just feels real. Like you're like you know, I have a record. You know, my band on vinyl, you know, and I think that was like the main thing. You know, it's like I personally, you know, I know it's not punk rock to say, but I don't really give a shit about vinyl. You know, I'd rather have a clean sounding, like I don't like record pops and shit. You know.
Oh yeah.
So I'd prefer a CD over a record, but it just feels real. Like I have a record in my hand. You know.
Yeah.
But even the 7 inches, I still buy 7 inches off bands and stuff, but I prefer when they come with the download card. You know?
Oh yeah.
So I have a bunch of unplayed 7 inches too. You know, that when they have the download card. You know?
That was always my thing, was to get vinyl. And out of all the bands that I've done, I tried to figure out the other day all the different bands that I've done, and I've never done vinyl. I love vinyl. I like the cracks and the pops. I'm the exact opposite. But it just, to me, I don't know, that's what I grew up with, and I was one of those when, you know, I like cassette tapes still, and we have quite a few here. But when CDs came in, it was like, I don't know, it's not traditional, and I mean, it's realistically, it's easier. It was cheaper, and I've got more CDs out than, you know, I even remember all the names for, because we would do our demos on them. And then, you know, they've still, if I go through my archives, I'm going to find crap that have, you know, Sharpie drawn name on it. Like one band, Weird Al Qaeda. And it was just like recordings that we did while rehearsing that we pressed. And it was so much easier to do.
Yeah.
But no, I want vinyl. And so to this day, eventually I might get it if I have enough money and a band to do it with, but
nowadays it's so like, you know, after you're on a record, then CDs were starting to be like first coming out, and they're like, yeah, I want to be on a CD, you know?
Right.
And they were expensive as fuck to make then, you know.
I know.
And now it's like, you know, they're dirt cheap to get done, you know. Like these are like, I get them done dirt cheap, you know. And but also, like, you know, because you can do them, and no one even wants a CD anymore. You know, we have trouble getting rid of them.
Because everyone downloads everything.
Yeah, which is cool. You know, as long as they hear the music.
Yeah.
You know, but so we're actually our next thing is gonna be a record. You know, first Inciting Riots.
Oh,
that
nice.
we're recording later this month.
All right, cool. You got to let me know about that. And two, we
But
can.
like, I was just looking into the lead time on that, and it's like 10 months.
Yeah, and what's the cost on that now?
It's pretty ridiculous. I'm gonna have to like talk to people because, just like out of pocket costs were like seeing around like $10 a piece, and that's like
Yeah.
a low run. I'm like, damn, because I bought some 7-inches from bands and they're like expensive. I'm like, damn, I remember 7-inches were like $3.50 or $5 at the most.
Yeah.
Now they're like $15 or something, $20.
Because even like a 12-inch was like back in the day was like $12 or something.
Yeah.
Now it's like for an LP, it's like what $35 for vinyl.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And then, well, we go to this place at the swap meet at Kobe's, and that's where we try to look for this one guy. We always go there and look through his vinyl, and there's stuff there that I wish I had gotten, 30 years ago or even longer. It'll be like $50. I'm like, $50 for this? Yeah. So now it's kind of turning to where I'm going, I should just get it on CD. And then I have to remember, where do I have a CD player?
Oh.
Fuck. Oh, in the truck. Oh, I don't really listen to... It's like it's completely shifted. I'm so far behind and off kilter, and I don't really download stuff. V downloads. She's got a ton of music. But again, it's like... she'll have it on her phone, right? And I still haven't figured out how to get stuff downloaded onto my phone. So that's why I just love the vinyl. But it's an investment now. And that makes it even harder, if you're out trying to promote yourself. So that's why you got to do, shows on the shirts and all that. But, I got here, the Inciting Riots. And then when did this, I love this artwork, 13 Wolves. So how did this come to fruition?
I think I'm like their 9th bass player.
Oh, right.
Yeah, something like that. I'm the longest running bass player, but I actually saw them play a couple shows, and I thought it was cool. And one thing I like about that band, I usually don't even tell people I'm in the band. Just like we all have like alter ego names on there.
Yeah.
And the cool thing about it is, you're wearing masks. No one knows who the fuck you are. You can jump around like a goofball and not feel dumb.
Right.
So it's a lot of fun.
The concept reminds me of a few things, and one thing that comes up immediately is Brujeria. And
I don't know what that is.
You haven't heard Brujeria?
Uh-uh.
Oh, they're insane. They're on Alternative Tentacles, and it's God, how would I describe them? They do their songs in Spanish.
They're death metal band and
death metal. Yeah. And Dino's in that band, right? Or it was?
He was one of the original members. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're just, it's all in Spanish. It's so good. Jello Biafra picked them up for Alternative Tentacles, so. But they all have masks, so you can't really see. And it's not like the Mentors where you know who it is. It's like you don't really know unless you're in the, so it's all about the music. And I've never played with the mask on, but that's got to be gnarly.
The sweating sucks, And then I remember my first show playing with them. I had I'd only been in the band like a couple weeks or something, so I made a little cheat sheet. Like I just like little notes, and I put it down like where someone would have their normal set list. So we're playing, and I'm looking at my cheat sheet, and the singer like kicks it like on accident out there. And I'm like, oh shit, I don't know how the next song starts. And so I end up like getting it back, but yeah, it's this like there's times like sweating in the eyes. You're playing with your eyes closed because you're sweating.
Right.
But and not being able to drink. I was even thinking of getting like a long ass straw, to like having a beer.
Oh, one of those Camelback things with the straw.
Or just like a long ass pixie straw.
Anything, yeah. When did you start playing with them?
It's been a while now. Like, shit, I don't even know now. Like 2015 maybe.
Oh damn.
14. God, I don't even remember.
How many shows did you guys play at Metro? And what bands were you in at that time?
At Metro, I know I played a couple shows with Public Nuisance, and yeah, I remember the one show with Pug Nuisance, we played down there in the dungeon. We had a song called "Death from Above," and there was a guy in the audience that was like heckling our singer, like, "You probably don't even know what that means," or something. And I remember they were like arguing. I'm like, oh, they're gonna like. I thought there was gonna be like a fight right there, you know. But I ended up going cool.
Is that at Metro or at Union downtown?
These Union downtown.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't think. Oh, I think the only time I played Metro was Eveready were supposed to play a show, and they couldn't make it, and so Brian called me up and he's like, "Hey, we can't make this show. You want to just go and say you're us and play?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's cool, you know."
Yeah.
So we showed up, and originally we had planned on just playing the song "This Place Sucks" by the Queers, and just playing it and then leaving.
Yeah.
You know, and we ended up, we got there and there was a whole bunch of people came early, not to see us because they didn't even know we were playing, you know. And we ended up playing a whole set, and it was a lot of fun. But I think the only time I played there was as Eveready because they couldn't make a show. That's the one that's by the sports arena, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Well, no, that's
that's the one now.
yeah. No, the Metro is by Office Depot and Tio Leo's.
Off Moreno.
Oh, I don't think I've ever played that one.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't.
So Metro was around from 94 to 99.
Yeah, because then at that time.
Well, then that was where I played. I probably just got it confused.
Yeah, because
this would have been like 96.
Yeah, then it would have been Metro.
Yeah.
And Jeremy, you were doing the shows then.
Yeah. So I must have. God,
You
see, I
booked
don't even
them.
remember that.
You booked Eveready and it wasn't Eveready.
Yeah, and then you show up and I'm like,
What happened to the band? Why
so
is there all
who
different
would have
members?
played with you? Would that be? Well, he goes by Jack now, but
Actually, it would have been Tim, who replaced Jack in the Beer Goggles, and then I believe Brent was the drummer then. Yeah.
yeah, I don't even remember that. That's pretty cool though. See?
Yeah, it was I believe it was Jawbox and Jawbreaker and Eveready. I think that's what the show was. If I remember, I don't even remember.
That sounds like a Casbah show.
No, it was definitely Soma.
Yeah, that would be because Jawbox they would do decently, but they weren't. Oh, you know, I think I do remember that, and I remember just being like, "Oh, fuck it," just because I think Len booked that show.
So was that a main stage show?
It would be a side stage.
Yeah, it was side stage.
Yeah, but it wasn't because it was, you know,
Only 3 bands?
Dude, I do remember that. Yeah, and it was, like 96.
I don't remember if it was only 3 bands.
I think so.
Because then you guys would have been playing a longer set than
Yeah.
a 20-minute set.
Yeah, yeah. So it probably would have played about a 30-minute set. I remember seeing the flyer. There was little things that happened there, like Iron Maiden was supposed to play. And then they canceled, and I was all stoked about it. And then I found out later that it was them with a different singer. It wasn't Bruce. So I'm like, well, what the hell?
Oh.
But I was excited because Iron Maiden was the first official show that I saw at the sports arena when I was
And to play a small venue.
15
would have been crazy.
Even that, yeah. Yeah, that would have been incredible. Seeing him try to fit Eddie in that venue. You know, and that would have been, I don't remember what tour that was.
Well, they posted the flyers on the Facebook page.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I have to go.
Fear Factory is opening for that on that tour.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah, that's right.
So when we have Dino in, he'll to probably talk about that.
Yeah, because I got to get more information from that. But so speaking of shows that were crazy and shouldn't happen, what was your favorite like crazy show that you've done? Like sticks out the most out of every show you've done that you've played with all the bands.
probably have to be Confederate shows because they were always like wild.
Yeah.
Like there was some times where, we make it through a song and a half and then the place is like just destroyed, And then I remember one time when I was in CTD, we played a show with River Bottom down at this place called the Gorilla Pit. I think it's down in Chula Vista or down south.
Mm-hmm.
And they had all of these neon lights, and all those got all smashed. And I was worried about my brother because he would get really drunk then and be like, come on, like, to come on and slam or whatever. But, when you can't hear someone saying that, it almost looks like you're like, come on, motherfucker, I'm going to kick your ass.
Yeah.
So, like, there was a couple, I remember that show, I was like, we played like maybe like 6 songs. We're like, okay, thanks, like scoop my brother up and, just.
Yeah.
I actually had the most fun playing backyard parties, but no one really does that anymore.
Yeah, well, we were talking about that. Also, there's because the Chula Vista scene's always been pretty, South Bay and all that. It's had a great scene. Chicken Farm came out of POD and
Amenity.
Yeah, all the hardcore came out of there, and this is what I was thinking of, the sewer shows. Have you done any of those?
No, I never got into those. Yeah.
Because I'm trying to remember where I'd heard about them, but I guess those are some like they bring generators down. I don't know if it's down in
Pirate Punks were doing a lot of those.
Oh, okay, that's who it is, the Pirate Punks, and they bring generators in.
Yeah.
And do that whole thing, and it kind of reminds me of this free spirit of like kind of like iguanas, but like a backyard party.
Yeah, because it's all word of mouth, and they even did shows at like that was in a backyard, and they just called it the Yard, and no address on the flyer. Yeah. It was just all word of mouth. I played shows at the Yard with a Social Spit.
So what's going on with Social Spit right now? And
nothing at the moment. Since we haven't played since before COVID. I just saw Cliff a couple weeks ago. Actually, at the Decry show. That was cool.
And who's in the band now?
It's actually the same people from like 1988, like Johnny playing guitar, Javier on drums, Cliff singing, and then I'm playing bass.
Well, did you play the you played the Casbah show?
Yeah, I've played with Social Spit since 2004 because in 2005 they were going to do the 25th anniversary shows.
Oh, okay.
Just been playing with them ever since.
How'd that come across?
Dan played drums in Inciting Riots. He was playing with them, and then they were looking for a bass player, and he just recommended me.
Oh, okay.
So then I started playing with them.
And you do any out of San Diego with them, or is...
I think we played like up. I think it was Oceanside. But yeah, pretty much all San Diego County.
And then Ramona, right? What is it? Main Stage, is it called? Ramona?
Yeah, we played a couple shows there, like with DI and I don't remember the other ones. I think Angry Samoans. It might have even been the same show.
Oh, that would be a good show. Speaking of Angry Samoans, were you at that Vandal show? The infamous Vandal show?
No, I wasn't. Yeah. I heard all about it, but I wasn't there.
Yeah. Any other...
Got all their equipment fucked up. And,
yeah.
Yeah.
My wife and I were talking about that the other day because she loved the Palisades. She was going there really young.
Yeah, I love that place too.
And for some reason, that was when we first... Come here, Boogie. My dog is... When we first started doing shows, we'd have to have, if you were 18... You're fine, but under 18, you had to have someone over 18 to sign you into the club. Mm-hmm. But then, like Palisades and other places, California Theater, they had some great shows. And that was kind of my whole idea, was to try to do those shows, but do them at Soma. Mm. So, I tried to get the Exploited for years and years and years. And then once we started to get the formula working at Soma and started bringing in some of those other bands, I always looked at the old flyers that Tim would do, Tim Mays, which he still kind of does at the Casbah, trying to get that same feel. But it never really, we were a bit more organized, I guess. But that being said, it was also, the scene was kind of gnarly for a while whenever the Skins would show up. So in the back of my head, whenever we had, like, when Fear played and we opened up for him, I was always worried that the Skins were going to get a little aggressive. But then we had all the Samoans who kept everyone at check.
Yeah, Cliff actually audio taped that show, that Fear show.
The Fear show?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So he's got me?
I know he's got the Fear. I don't know if he taped the other bands.
That was such a great show.
Yeah, I was at that one.
What other bands did you guys play with Social Spit? Are you still getting to play with some of the old timers, or?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we haven't played in a while, but like we played with GBH and Angelic Upstarts. That was a good one.
How are those shows like? Any of them? Did they get as crazy as back in the day, or? Because
No.
Social Spit, Cliff's been doing it. I remember him doing it. I think I had him play once or twice, maybe, at the Union Street. But yeah, he's been playing. He's a staple in this town. That was he started. Oh, I remember once I went to his place in Point Loma. There was some crazy party there, but I'd already started doing Soma at that point. But
yeah, because he used to make like the Exploited to come down, and then they'd stay at his place, and he'd make spaghetti.
That's right, yeah. Yeah, I heard a story about, I think it was him that was Arnie Wadi's Mohawk Forum.
Oh,
And that was just kind of like one of those little urban myths that I heard about as a kid. But yeah, Cliff's been around. God, they were doing shows, 84, 85? He started doing that?
Yeah, I remember even back then, like at Palisades, like it'd be like Surf Jerks, Adolescents, Social Spit.
Yeah.
Like they were playing all those shows too.
So playing with him, that's pretty crazy. He's a legend.
Mm. Yeah, I really like playing with them because I could pretty much, they have their songs, but then I have freedom to fuck around and do shit.
Are you guys writing any new music with them, or?
Yeah, we actually I've recorded with them like 3 or 4 times, and nothing's ever happened with the recording yet.
They did. The Social Spit put out a "Watch It Burn" last year, just a single on Mystic Records.
Oh wow, that's Doug Moody's old.
Yeah, it's Doug Moody's label.
Yeah. Speaking of,
we all the stuff we recorded, like since I've been in the band, there's been some songs on comps, and that's about it. Yeah.
Anything that we can pull up and play right now?
Well, I can play "Watch It Burn." From Social Spit.
Yeah, I want to hear that. I haven't heard anything from them in a while.
You want to play it now?
Yeah. Did you play on this song with them?
I'm not sure. I've recorded that song a couple times with them, so I'm not sure if this is the version or if this is the old version.
Is this the Dr. No song?
This is
originally?
This is the newer. It came out in 2020 on Mystic, so we can check it out here.
That's awesome.
Monsters, machines, mutilate men. It happens every 50,000 years. Brother against brother and mother against son. Its purpose has never been quite clear. TV crews fabricate, conservatives annihilate. Rage boils from within. Hopelessly obliterate, silence, kill, exterminate. The purpose of this game is to win. Mainstream monster media, the minister modern mind shall propagate, then terminate. The hand of death that touches me right between the eyes. You will learn to watch it burn. All warmth and love is gone to the lower out the flames. It's all for progress sake. Through the mud and blood we trod, all in the name of God. Modern Crusade 16, yeah. Mainstream monster media, the menace of modern mind. Shall propagate, then terminate. The hand of death that touches me right between the eyes. You will learn to watch it burn. Tension builds and explodes. I am burning in the sun. Gutters full red with blood. I need a place to feel safe. Yeah, mainstream monster media, the menace of modern mind. So propagate, then terminate. The hand of death that touches me right between the eyes. You will learn to watch it burn.
That is awesome. I love that song.
Yeah, so I could tell by the lyric in the middle. So we recorded that in 2016 because you know how Kyle would always change the year, like Modern Crusade '85, So he was like 16. So I'm like, oh, well, we'll record that in 2016. I didn't know it got put out on anything.
That is awesome. No, I remember that song from, the early days. I was so I was still living in Santee. So this would be pre-Soma, and I would put on that, and I remember I had this apartment, second story, and I'd go and just sit there, and that's where I started writing stuff that eventually ended up being poor stuff, and my concepts of actually working with Short-Lived when they were still called Oppressed.
Oh, jeez.
So, and I was still working at Wiener Schnitzel with Chris Fields and Ray Cam and God, who else was there? Jeff, Dave, Dennis, basically Short-Lived, and Chris Fields.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a great song. My Lord.
I remember when Cliff worked at Off the Record.
Yeah.
I was talking to him about music and stuff, and at that time they had just recorded the No Place Like Home stuff because I was like, you guys have anything? I got your 7-inch. You got any other stuff? And he's like, yeah, we just recorded it. Bring me a tape and I'll make you a copy. I'm like, cool. So I brought him like a TDK XL90 tape, like real good quality. So
Yeah.
And I remember he taped me, like he jam packed it full of shit. Like they probably recorded more, twice as much as they put out on that album. And like even a cover of like War Pigs by Black Sabbath. And stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And then maybe like 2 months later, tape gets eaten up in my car stereo or something.
No way.
Yeah, so I'm like, man, I really love that tape. If I bring you another tape, and he was totally cool. He's like, yeah, fuck yeah. I'm like, cool. I just thought it was cool that someone showed interest in his music, and he was like, fuck yeah, I want you to have it.
Yeah, I still have that vinyl. I think my wife actually has a copy of it as well, because that's one of the bands she remembers from back in the day.
Actually, I've told him this later on, but I remember I bought the Live Spit 7-inch. It was like on Mystic, and it was blue vinyl. And
I think I have that as well.
And the off the record bags, so I go to my girlfriend's house and I forget that I have the bag in the back dash, and it gets warped in my car.
Oh no.
So I'm like, fuck, I just bought this, and I think I was working at Burger King then, so like $3.50 was a lot of money. Like, I have to work a whole hour for this 7-inch,
Yeah.
And so I brought it back, and I was like, yeah, man, I went to put this 7-inch on, and it's just like this, the needle's bouncing, and then I look at it, and I don't know if it's a manufacturer's defect or something, So I'm totally playing it off like I bought it like that. And,
Yeah.
And I think because it was his band, he was just like, oh, okay, well, I don't know how that happened, but, just trade it out.
That's funny.
But then I told him later, I'm like, yeah, I fucking left it in the car. It got warped.
Yeah, I think I've got... Yeah, I'm pretty sure I got that as well. But yeah, so he worked it off the record. That's where us and the short-lived guys would go to get records.
Yeah.
And
you buy all the demo tapes there, too. I think that's where I bought most of the demo tapes from local bands.
Yeah.
Which off the record?
That would be the one in college.
Yeah, it's a tire shop now, I think.
Yeah. And I have a couple of accounts around there, so I drive by it all the time and I look at it. And because they had the one building that is a tire shop, and then they had...
That's the one Jay worked at, right?
Yeah. And with Curtis, I believe, who ended up buying... I believe he ended up buying the one building, and then the business, and then they consolidated into the one that's now the tire shop, because they had the one new records. Wasn't it new records on one in the one building, and then the one that's the tire shop that's kind of at an angle was the used stuff or something? I don't
even remember. I remember it just being one building. I remember Lou's Records.
Yeah, I was gonna say Lou's was like
Lou's
that,
had
but
two.
that wasn't in the same area at all.
Or maybe it's got my
Yeah,
memory.
I think you got them mixed up.
I do remember the other.
Because you go at Lou's, you'd have the new stuff, and then you would go out the door and come outside to the across, and that's where all the used stuff with the videos and everything.
Yeah.
And they used to have like bands when they'd come to town and they'd go to off the record and do their record signings, whatever.
Nirvana.
I don't remember that, but yeah, I heard about that. And
they went to.
I remember Circle Jerks and Bad Religion and Corrosion Conformity, and I remember I was like, wow, this is like so cool. Like, I'm like flipping through records and there's the drummer of COC, I guess that's one thing that I always thought was cool about punk rock is like, it's just like, yeah, I'm just a dude too, motherfucker. Like I like looking through records, and I was used to like, you're not going to run into fucking Bruce Dickinson at Burger King.
Oh no. Well, that was the whole thing about. I mean, you wouldn't run into even hardly anyone but punkers. I mean, metal guys, they weren't even on the radar. But half the time, you could be at the record store looking for something, and then someone would say, hey, that blah, blah, blah was in there. Oh, really? Where? Because, they're just in there buying records like everyone else. And Off the Record was the place down here. I didn't go up to Lou's because I couldn't ride my skateboard that far.
Yeah.
So... But then once I started doing the flyer route, and then the other one was like Blue Meanie out in El Cajon. And Norm from Psychotic Waltz ended up running that. But the Hillcrest Off the Record is the one that Nirvana played at. And so at that point, I was living with Kelly and Sid, or I think Kelly was still there. They ended up splitting at some point, and it was just Sid and I. Because I remember we would have bologna sandwiches, and we were roughing it. It was bad. But Sid had came back and said, hey, you should go to Off the Record. There's this band Nirvana playing there.
Was that the one you were talking about, like when they played that one?
Yeah. And I was like, nah. I said I either heard of them or something. I'm like, nah, they're nah, because I was still kind of scouting bands, and then plus they weren't local, so it wasn't not that big of a deal.
Yeah, I remember they had like black and white photos at the counter where you go and pay.
Yeah, the glass counter was underneath the glass. Yep.
That was one of the really big fuck ups. I should have gone because I could have talked to him. I could have probably had him play Soma, and then because what's his face? Dave Grohl played in Scream. They played before me. Yeah, he played Union, and
And the Foo Fighters played Metro
yeah,
on the first tour.
and that was because Pat Smear was with them, so I got to talk to Pat.
That's cool.
You know, that was like, yeah. But, yeah, off the record was amazing. And the Cliff was there. What's her face? They started a band, Contra Guerra.
Oh, Jackie Starr.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was.
I liked them.
Yeah. With, and they, well, it was, I believe, Era was the bass player, and then Kevin on guitar. But Era lived with Ara at the Cave. Remember the 9th?
Yeah.
And do you ever go to any of their shows?
No, I think the only time I saw them was at Iguanas. He had like the long American flag pants on.
Oh, yeah. They shot the video for Romeo and Juliet. There's some there, and you can see Jeff from Dahmer's Diner and Short Lived, and Chris Fields in that. Chris when he still had hair, like long hair, right in the front. And Ken had these pants. He took an American flag and made them into pants. It's such a good band, and that's the origin of them and Short Lived and all that. But because of the 9th is the reason why Len took me serious about booking bands at Soma. So that's I still hold that as a high praise to this day. We talked about it many times. I still get giddy thinking about it. And then Jamie, the drummer, that's the image on the back of my leather jacket. He had this. At one point only, he was really mellow and just kind of like this quiet guy, but for some reason he had Liberty spikes. So that image, black and white image, is what I painted on the back of my leather jacket. And Kelly was huge into them as well.
I remember the guitar player of Pug Nuisance. He's the one that got me into them, and I remember he kept singing like "Murdered by the FBI." I'm like, oh, what do you keep singing? And,
yeah.
And I thought that was the name of the song. It's called Jackie's Dress or something like that.
Yeah.
And he had the demo tape, and I taped it off him. I think Ray might have uploaded all that stuff on YouTube now. Because I know he uploaded a lot of the old, like, Short Lived and King Wheelie and all that stuff.
Oh, wow. We do have the Behave. I think it's a 4-song demo by the 9th. And somewhere I do have recordings I think that Ara had done from shows at the Cave, because their house, they had this sign in back. It was basically the living room. They made these 2 booths like in a restaurant, and then they had Palisades seats. Again, the Palisades come up, 3 rows of them. I believe they were Palisades. And they put them in the living room, and then they made this little stage, and then there was a sign with the lights going around that said the Dick Floyd Show. And I was going to use that as a name of a band years ago, but that band never came to fruition, which is probably a good thing.
The minute you said the Dick Floyd Show, I could totally picture it now. So I've seen a picture of that somewhere. I don't know if it's on someone's record or something.
Oh, actually, it might be in the Short-Lived record. All the Agony, I believe, is the name of that one.
Yeah.
It's got the collage of all the... Actually, were you in that as well, with the collage of all the people, or...
I'm not sure. I may have been. I don't think so, because I didn't know them till that was out. Because I remember I bought a cassette of that off of them.
Mm-hmm.
It had like a different cover, but it had an extra song that wasn't on the record.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. And the one, my claim to fame back then was Happy Day, where we got a whole bunch, and some of the girlfriends and friends, we all went in. And I think it was at Jeff Forrest Double Time. I think that's where we recorded. And we all did the chorus, just sang Happy Day. I was like, yes, finally. So that's as close to being on vinyl as I am, is doing backup with about 12 other people. But someday, I still, once I get 10 grand, and I'll press the record from something that we write, or maybe we'll do a podcast on it or something. But
yeah, Sam was drumming for Inciting Riots for a little while.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we did a music video he's in too. Yeah.
Is there a recording of that out?
Just the music video. We didn't. Actually, one of the songs was on a Mystic comp. They were trying to do a comp with a bunch of people doing songs under a minute. So we had a song that was like 40 seconds that we put on there.
Oh. The farting is it's bleeding through. I can hear it in my headphones. That's my dog with its toy that farts.
Oh.
So he's around here somewhere making fart noises, and he's getting antsy for sure. But then we're gonna wrap up things here. What you're saying? Inciting Riots has you're working on?
Yeah, we're recording on the 23rd, April 23rd. For hopefully a 7-inch. That's the plan.
Yeah.
So we're doing like 4 songs for that. Then we're recording a couple extra songs just for fun. And 13 Wolves, we're playing a show in a couple weeks, and we're planning on recording again. We did this. I have this on vinyl too. I have to get you a copy.
Oh yeah. Because I love vinyl.
And so we're planning on doing another full length, but we haven't really talked about a certain time.
Because this will probably come out. I've got it worked out with the Buzzsprout, so I'm figuring this will probably come out in a couple months. So I'll give you a heads up before so we can promote it and everything and do whatever drops. But in the meantime, what are your Facebook and all that where people can find out about the bands that I can do a little?
Facebook's the thing I'm on the most. Is I think it's just facebook.com/Inciting Riots.
Okay.
And then IncitingRiots.com has free songs plus our Bandcamp. All of our music's on Bandcamp for free.
Okay, cool.
Just search Inciting Riots and it's all on there for free. Like I think everything we put out is on there, except for like covers because they don't let you put covers on there.
Okay. And then 13 Wolves.
And 13 Wolves have a Facebook page. I think it's the same, where it's just like facebook.com/13 Wolves. Yeah.
And then of course Social Spit.
Yeah. So Social Spit I think have two Facebook pages. I think one's run by Johnny and one by Cliff. Yeah.
Nice. So actually, when I think about it, when you stack them all up like that, you're freaking busy, dude.
Yeah, I was actually too busy for a while. Like I had more stuff going on, but I had to scale back.
Yeah.
So yeah, the main focus is Inciting Riots.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, you can find that on iTunes as well, or Apple Music.
Perfect. So yeah, Lenny, dude, it's been a long time, and it's rattling a lot of the memories. But man, I appreciate coming down. Seriously.
Yeah, some of the memories I was like, God, I used to know dates, and who we played with a lot more than I do now. Getting old, I guess.
That's the thing about doing this too, is I'm probably going to remember a bunch of shit late tonight. But, I should have brought that up. But, we can do drops at some point, on the page too, but we'll have you back. And then,
it'd be cool to come back when we have the new recordings too.
Yeah, absolutely. So we can, because, we can drop songs. And again, you can post stuff on our page as well. Or just hit me up and let me know. Cool. And keep it going. And after 30-something years, you're still around and you're pretty freaking busy. And that's just amazing. Mm-hmm. Brother, thanks so much for coming out. All right, Lenny.
This podcast was recorded at Red Rum Skates. Mixed by me, Jer. Music provided by Breakacre. We appreciate all our listeners and our guests. Please stay tuned until the next one. Have a great one. Bye.